desk. And this training is about kind of like I've been seeing a lot of confusion and a lot of questions about pricing out non-QM deals. So basically, we have non-QM lenders that we have them on the correspondent channels. And for those of you that are not completely sure about the channels, let me explain once again our business relationship. So we have business relationship on the wholesale. When you go wholesale, we are not the lender. We're just the broker, right? So whoever you go to, whether it would be Rocket, NewFi, or Cardinal, or whoever you go out there, they are the lender. They will underwrite, they will disclose, and you will only get paid uh, either lender pay or borrower pay. Now, when you are in the correspondent channel, under that umbrella of correspondent, we have two channels. You have delegated and you have non-delegated. The delegated channel, we have our in-house underwriter that are going to underwrite the file. We are the lender. We will disclose. The documents will be on our name, and we will fund with our warehouse money. The non-delegated channel, everything is the same, except that the investor itself will underwrite the file. And that's where the category of all the non-QMs are going to come into. The advantage on the non-QM is obviously, the pricing is a little bit more harsh or more higher because of uh, the kind of like not the defect, but the situation of the file itself. I mean, you're either gonna go no income verification, you're gonna go bank statement, you're gonna go 1099 or DSCR, which is debt service coverage ratio, right? And because of it, you're gonna get a higher pricing. Um, the beauty of it is that you should be able to make money on the back of the loan, which means the YSP premium, and you're going to be able to make money on the front if you charge the borrower an origination fee. Just remember that the only thing that the borrower knows that you're making when you're doing your sale is they only know what you disclose. When you go into disclose is what they get when they what they see on the loan estimate. What is on the back of the loan, which is what you optimally see, anything over 100 when you're pricing a loan, they don't know that. They don't see that, right? So um, one of the disadvantage of the non-delegated is that if you underwrite a file, or if you send a file to an investor, let's call it Homebridge. Homebridge is underwriting the file. You get all the way to underwriting, and the underwriter discovers, you know what, we cannot do this file here. We have an overlay guideline that doesn't let us do that. Then what? Now you have to switch it to a different investor, and you have to start the process over. The difference is when you hear doing a delegated file, which again, non-QMs, we will not do it in-house. What's going on with refreshing this? All right. So non-QM, we will not do it in-house. That will definitely the investor have to underwrite it. I mean, luckily for us, we have very good partners. You have very good partners with FGMC, Redstone, Homebridge, that they brought their product on the correspondent channel, so you guys are able to make money on the back and the front, right? And we will disclose, so we have a little bit more control over that. So um, let's start with an example file, and I will show you how you can get the pricing here in Optimal Blue, which sometimes it get mistaken because there's just one place that you have to make sure that you check, so you can tell the system that this is a bank statement, that this is a DSCR, that this is a no income, no asset, or no ratio type of program. So let's use an example of let's do $400,000 loan amount. Let's go 500,000, and let's do this as a purchase. We're gonna do non-delegated. Let's make a 740 FICO score. DTI, let's go 45. I'm in Florida, so I'm gonna select Florida. So this is where it comes in play. Here, you don't have to necessarily worry much, even though that some investors like you to do the check the non-conforming or check the RA. I would say you can leave it non-conforming first, but you want to check the expand the guideline and then uncheck this. By unchecking this, you won't get any Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac type of product, and then you're gonna think, oh, I can do this type of program Fannie Mae. No, you cannot. Um, Once you check this, it is important that you tell what is the spending guideline. You can go full doc. For example, if you have a jumbo loan and you want to go full doc, like I did one with FGMC, you can very well do that, right? Um, then here's the income verification type that you have. You have 1 year RDoc, 2 years, asset related, business bank statement, personal bank statement, investor DSCR, even have the restricted stock. I don't know who's offering that, but we can check on the guidelines for that. So let's do a 24-month bank statement. Has this person been in the bankruptcy? I mean, if you have those type of defect, you can put it here. And once you select that, it's going to tell you what was the outcome. Has it been discharged? Is it still open? Is it still pending? So these are things that you can check or you can search for that. Have they been late in the past, 30 days? There are some investor that might give you a loan if they've been late 30 days on the past 12 months. Some other might not. But those are type of the defect that you can, I wouldn't call it defect, but these are the type of the things that you can check that is making this loan for you to go non-QM rather than going QM, right? So once you check the income, by the way, if you're doing business bank statement, then the borrower must be self-employed. So these have to be checked, yes. That's another important thing that you have to check, right? Because the only reason that you're going to bank statement, personal or business, it doesn't matter, is because you are self-employed, and you cannot be a W-2 employee and go W-2 and go bank statement. You have to go the W-2 route. So also one of the things that I always teach people when I'm telling them about pricing is, don't get sucked into see. Usually, you're gonna see whoever sits on top on the first one is gonna be the one that's giving you the best pricing, but that necessarily might not be completely accurate, because Redstone might give you better prices at 5.6, but then at 5.8 you might get a better pricing with Veros. So let's take a quick look at a couple of them. We already have Redstone device. Let's keep this one. And let's go to FGNC and check price and home bridge. Then I have them click on side, and this will give you a better picture. As you can see, Redstone, even though that they might give you a better price at a certain rate, when it comes to par pricing, you don't get anything. And I know you guys are not seeing much of a pricing anyway. Two things to take away from this. Number one, we're going to reduce the margin for non-QM. So you guys should see probably in the next week or so better pricing for non-QM. That's something that we're discussing. The management is discussing, and I think Ray is already agreed to increase the pricing. Redstone, the reason that you're not seeing anything changes here is because they are capped. They can only give you certain pricing, and that's it. After that, it doesn't matter if you go to the higher rate, the pricing is the same. It's not going to change. Same thing with, like, you see FGNC. FGNC look like they're capped. That's why you see that this pricing stay the same regardless of the interest rate that you give them, right? So this will be your par pricing. So as you can see, Veros is giving you the best pricing at this rate. FGNC doesn't give you a par pricing all the way until 6 1/8. And again, we're hoping that that's going to improve in the next week or so. We're discussing it with them. We're discussing it internally as well. The agreement that we made with FGMC is, we're gonna cut our margin, but we need you to cut your margin, because they're pushing us. They have done quite a few training with Andrea and quite a few of you where they're telling us about their products. We're telling you, yeah, I mean, great that you guys are giving us the training and you're teaching us about this non-QM, but your pricing, my loan officer are not able to compete. So they'll say, well, we can work with that. So I say, okay, we can work with that too. So ultimately, you want the loan. We want the loan officer to be able to do the sale. Do we want the loan officer to be able to compete and to bring food to the table, right? So uh, we're hoping to improve. So that's why we're doing this training to make sure you guys understand how to price a non-QM deal, right? Let's go ahead and try another one. Believe, let me see if I can do this 1099 one because somebody was asking me about it earlier. Let's see, 1 year art. So here's the 1099 program that they have, and some of this, when you have when you see this white paper here, it will tell you what their underwriting guidelines are. And if there is any investor that you don't know what the guideline, you can always send an email to the lock desk, and we can send you the complete guidelines for you guys to see uh, what they are: prepayment penalty, repurchasing agreement, anything that you need to know about those non-QM type of products. There are guidelines that you can see and you can get yourself familiarized with. No, every investor have that white sheet of paper. That's what I'm saying. If you don't have it, let me know and I can get you the guidelines for any investor. I can always request it from them, or if not, I probably have it already saved somewhere out there. So I know somebody was asking me about, they have look, Veros has a profit and loss type of program. Let's say you haven't fill out your taxes or whatever, they can go off the profit and loss. There is, when obviously the profit and loss more than likely have to be prepared by a CPA, and they have to have an expense ratio in there to be so they can calculate, what the actual income will be. Or there's some type of program like that. I know there is a program out there that I submitted not about a week and a half ago, submitted to Veros. The person have a bankruptcy that was recently discharged. This may, oh, actually, let's call it discharge. And I think the problem was that it was less than 2 years. It was right in the cusp of being at 2 years. Let's change that to full doc because everything was right. The only thing was that they had a bankruptcy in there. Let's see if we get pricing. Uh-huh. This is very good. I'm glad to see that this didn't give me any eligible product. Whenever you get this, because one of the questions that I hear sometimes is, oh, I'm not coming up with anything. Well, there are different types of I'm not coming with anything. Ineligible product mean, there's not a product out there for you. So let's take a look at the why this is not coming back. So the bankruptcy type is 7 and the bankruptcy seasoning is 13 to 24 months. So if you're saying 10 to 24, let's go back and change it to 36. The system will tell you why it's being disqualified. You see that? We were not getting any eligible product before, now we are when we change that. So now we can go ahead and price this out and see what we get. So don't get discouraged when you see that you have ineligible product. Click on the ineligible product and see why it's being ineligible. Perhaps you forgot to select something. See again, Reston, they give you the best pricing at the lower rate. So this one, yeah, but they basically cap. Anybody has any question? Again, when you're pricing, put in your loan information. Make sure you select non-delegated. Once you select non-delegated, put your information, and then click on the expanded guideline and uncheck the standard one. Every one of these things has a meaning for it. For non-QM specifically, you have to check the expanded guideline, and you have to tell the system why is this being a non-QM. Is it going to go business, personal, DSCR? Obviously, check this example. If I select investor DSCR, but my occupancy is primary resident, I should not be able to get AD pricing. Does that mean that the system is not working? No, it means that you select a investor type of program and you're telling the system that it's a primary residence. So if you're gonna select a DSCR program, then you have to make sure that this is an investment property. I think they say 45. Let's change this to 43. And now we're able to get pricing. So again, don't get discouraged if you see ineligible product. Click on it. On any, if you read the guideline, let's say you went to Homebridge and you've been talking to Jay Ocasio from Homebridge and you know that this program works, but you're not getting any pricing. Fausto, I'm not getting any price. Just read it. Find out why. But this one, this is an investor property and this is a full doc type of loan. So obviously you're not gonna get it there. We actually get Homebridge. Yeah, we got Homebridge here. Ouch. So it's very simple. Does anybody has any question? Does anybody would like me to try out a program? Obviously, I'm going 80% LTV. Sometimes, you might not get a bank statement program with a 90% LTV. They have guidelines and they have cap. I mean, for those type of programs. As you can see, but when again, not eligible, right? So let's find out why it's ineligible. Interest only, okay, LTV is greater than 80% and the corporate type is an investment. Let's switch it out to primary to see if we can do primary 90% LTV with a bank statement program.
Fastel, do 89.9%. Typically, it has to be a hair under 90%.
Well, we got 90. Let me see if I can take a look at the matrix to make sure that there's not a cap here. Cash out, full doc, bank statement, asset qualifier. It's depending on the FICO score. Look at this. For purchase, 720, they go to 90. Asset qualifier on 1099 only. What does this one mean? Oh, that's something for New York, New Jersey, California. But anyway, anyhow, the purpose of the exercise is, for you guys to play around with it, for you guys to know when you're when you guys are going to be able to get pricing and when you're not to get discouraged, not to think that something is not necessarily working. It might be that, again, you have to play around with it.
I have a question. Would second homes fall under investment properties for this exercise?
Well, when you cannot have it either or. I mean, you cannot have it both. It's either second home or it's an investment property.
Second home investment.
Now, I do. Let me stop you right there, so you guys understand what's going on with the second home. There has been an LPA change by the agency, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. Basically, if they had an adjustment before, that it was whatever. Let's see. If it wasn't they have, every agency have certain adjustment, right? So let's even switch this to delegated. So I can explain you this better because I know I know somebody personally. I have my own deal that this person was trying to buy. It fell through, and now she's coming back with the loan, but I cannot do it because of the adjustment. Take a look at this adjustment here. So right off the bat, the agency, this has nothing to do with Obsidian margin or any margin. This is directly from the agency, 4.125. That's why you probably won't get any pricing. Look at this. Because I had another loan officer, Robert Otto, that is telling me, why does this change? Why is it so bad? Listen, they've been announcing this LPA change since January. And you guys, the Dallas team, have a loan, I believe is a Gary Little John, that it was locked. The loan has been locked, but it has been suspended. It's locked with FGMC. But because the loan was not delivered and purchased by today, that lock is no longer valid. They're going to make the adjustment. I sent an email out last week saying you're going to have to reprice that loan. Because now, if this was before, you know what? Let's see if I can find that loan.
Yeah, that'd be helpful. Thank you.
Take a quick note of this pricing adjustment here. Let me see if I can find Hold on 1 second. Lock. Okay. So this is a second home lock. So let's take a quick look at the adjustment. So the adjustment for occupancy being a second home, it was only 1/4. You guys see it right here?
Yes.
So if I go to price this home right now, let's take a quick look at what the adjustment would be. Same information, I'm not changing anything. So this loan was locked with new res. So if I look at the adjustment for this, look at the adjustment for the occupancy. So that right there is 3.75, 3.875 adjustment that is happening. That's why I'm not getting any pricing anymore. You guys see? So that is the issue that is going on with second home. I believe it's happening with investment property as well as a high balance loan. I can say, Andrew, I think that email has been out there because every investor has sent an announcement about the LPA changes for this type of property as of, it started on March 1st. FGNC was still taking the loans. Let me see if I can find that little John one.
So what they're doing, they just don't want to do those types of loans anymore.
Of course, they're pricing themselves out of the market. They've done it before. They did it last year.
Yeah.
So
And
they
then
don't.
that's on investment properties, the same hit too?
I believe so. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe so. I know for sure, second home. I know for sure second home on high
DPA.
balance.
DPA too.
So this is the little John one that I was telling you guys about. I don't know if this loan officer is in this meeting, but you know,
Yes,
again.
I'm on now.
Oh, okay, Gary. So basically, the occupancy adjustment on this one is 1.25, right? So if we go to price this loan out right now, I forgot who was the lock with. Doesn't matter. Pick the highest one. So we go to price this loan out. That adjustment for the occupancy is right here. Second home, 4.18. You guys notice the trend. It's the same thing for everybody. It doesn't matter the investor that I pick. I can switch this investor and pick somebody else. I just wanted to show you that the LPA, the adjustment is not coming. Oh, look at this. No, there it is. Same adjustment. 4.18. So this is coming directly from the agency.
So in this situation, basically, how do we reprice this?
You're gonna have to send a new request. You're gonna have to send a new request because basically, I think I'm gonna let this lock expire. Well, actually, no, I'm not necessarily gonna let it expire because I think they're going to make FGNC is going to make the adjustment in their agent. I mean, but if they make the adjustment, let me take a quick look to see if they already did it. Little John, where you at? Give me 1 second, guys. Yeah, they haven't made the adjustment, but they will because this lock doesn't expire until March 24th. But even though that expired March 24th, they've been giving plenty of notices that they needed to purchase that loan by the 15th, which is today, in order for you to keep the same pricing. But because the mandate is any loan delivered to Fannie Mae by April 1st, April 2nd. But obviously you need to give them time for them to sell it to the agency. So we mean you have to sell it, we have to sell it to them. And because we didn't deliver it to them, by the 1st. They didn't purchase it by the 15th. Therefore, they won't be able to deliver to Fannie Mae by the by April 1st. Therefore, they're going to have to make that adjustment. So this basically this loan will go under par, under the current rate. I
And
believe this is a purchase.
yes, it's a purchase.
Oof.
So then how does that affect the loan officer?
Well, forget you. How does it affect the consumer? How does it affect the borrower? It affects the borrower in every shape or form, because obviously you cannot give them the same rate that you were giving them before. You don't have a valid reason to increase the rate either, right? Because I mean, what would be your valid reason to increase the rate? You don't have any. And what I'm saying is, at that rate, you won't get the same pricing that you were getting 45 days ago. So in turn, it does affect everyone. If you want to continue to get that rate, I mean, this is still Little John. See, FGNC is right here. It is costing 3 point. They don't even, you don't even have pricing after that. That's the highest prices that you can go. Unless I talk to them and have them see if they can give me off cheap pricing. But again, you don't have a valid reason to increase the rate unless something changed on the loan. I mean, I know the loan is suspended. Depending on what the reason why the suspension is, I mean, we can probably discuss it after this meeting. I mean, the main purpose of, I wanted to make the distinction because you guys were asking about second home. Again, and I wanted to bring you the notice that of the RPA changes that it had nothing to do with Obsidian. So whenever you guys are pricing out and you're not getting any pricing on second home, it have nothing to do with Obsidian. And if you try to switch a non-QM, again, same thing. Actually, we will have to uncheck the standard. Besides that, does anybody has any question about pricing a
¿Sabe qué? Lo
non-QM?
único que saqué fue la ropa del Adrián. Ahí déjesela para que él la lave, porque ya sabe que tiene que sacarla. Y él la tiene que doblar. Tiene que aprender, porque ¿qué se piensa?
Okay, took care of that. Sorry about that, guys. So, does anybody has any question about pricing a non-QM scenario? Does anybody has a scenario there that would like to price it out?
I have one. I was having trouble with.
Okay, so Jennifer?
Yes.
All right, Jennifer, you can talk to me in Teams. I think
Okay.
Andre has a hard stop on this meeting at
Oh.
1:30 because we have to run to another one.
Okay.
Again, if anybody has any question about any pricing whatsoever, give it a shot. If you run into any difficulties, just send me a text through Teams. And again, guys, the best way to communicate with me is through Teams. If you text me on my cell phone or if you call me, there's going to be a highly chance that I won't be able to answer. I'm better with Teams. You can probably call me on Teams. I might be able to answer faster, but I function better that way. And I do manage the log desk, and I manage several of other departments.